It is often said that one never really stops learning in life, that one person's knowledge is like a drop in the ocean. But when each taps into the other's knowledge, when there is an exchange of ideas, then real learning takes place. Kenya, as an independent country, has undertaken many infrastructure projects. Nothing, however, has come close to the sheer colossal nature of the standard gauge railway project. It is excitingly uncharted territory for our young nation. Construction of the SGR line is being carried out in two phases. Construction of Phase 1 of the standard gauge railway between Mombasa and Nairobi commenced in 2014 and is due for completion by the 1st of June 2017. The second phase will take the railway from Nairobi to Malaba. This phase has been divided into three sub-phases. Phase 2A, Nairobi-Naivasha. Phase 2B, Naivasha-Kisumu, including the development of a new high-capacity port at Kisumu. And Phase 2C, Kisumu-Malaba. Kenya Railways is at the forefront of ensuring the SGR project is a success in all aspects pertaining to the projects of the standard gauge railway line's nature, from construction to operation to management.
We have a supervisor who's checking to make sure that everything is fine, and our engineers are also on board to understudy and check to make sure that the final product is what we signed for. And come 1st of June 2017, when they hand over to us, we expect that the system, the equipment, the network is functioning and functioning to our expectations.
However, the construction relies mainly on Chinese engineers and other Chinese professionals. This begs the question, why were Kenyan or regional engineers and other professionals not engaged to solely and exclusively build the SGR?
We have not had any new railway construction for the past more than 100 years. So we have not been able to develop any skills which are relevant to railway construction. It is now that we have the opportunity to develop those skills.
The need for technology transfer was attributed to the lack of appropriate skill set among the Kenyan labor force, a training gap in the workers' experience, and lack of similar jobs like those that would be created by the SGR. China Road and Bridge Corporation, under its contractual obligation, is charged with ensuring that locals acquire the mandatory competencies required for construction, operation and management of railway infrastructure and be empowered to compete for international jobs. During the construction, development of capacity and technology or skills transfer amongst the locals has been given top priority.
What we did was to discuss with the contractor to see how they could start sponsoring Kenyans to China to undergo this very specialized, railway engineering. Then we also had discussions with Chinese government to see how they could support us, actually create some curriculum programs in our local universities.
As a railway, it cannot develop and it cannot operate when, say, a worker knows only one skill. So in the training program that we are designing, we are trying as hard as possible that we multi-skill these students so that they can fit properly into the railway's operations and maintenance.
It's been a big learning experience for me. Prior to this, I've not worked on a project of this magnitude. Well, I worked on projects which I thought were big, But the SGR is on another level, so it's been a game changer for me, really.
The key miles in construction of SGR has been when we actually got to see the rail on the ground. We are seeing the trains moving on it. We are seeing the project is coming to an end. To see you have the train moving on the SGR and it's working. There are no problems so far. We are doing the test and everything is as expected.
Engineering is actually an epic profession for ladies because our input is very valuable because we are able to analyze problems in a different way from our fellow engineers.
China Road and Bridge Corporation has been well up to the task and has gone about the training aspect twofold. One, local training has been done via various forums which include on-the-job training aimed at improving technical skills and employee competence. This covered safety, security, and health and hygiene training through partnerships with local training schools and organizations. Vocational skills training for the technicians, mechanics, surveyors, blasters, among others. Basic operation skills training for drivers, equipment operators and the like. And comprehensive training programs in partnership with the Railway Training Institute. The other aspect of training entails partnerships for local students to undertake a bachelor's degree program specializing in railway technology at Beijing Jiatong University in China.
We sent 65 trainers to China for the training the trainers course, and those actually were going for about a year program, and then they'll be coming and starting the training of the students at the Railway Training Institute.
As a Vision 2030 flagship project, the SGR will be a leap for Kenyan infrastructure and thus propel us closer to achieving all those important goals. As a sign of things to come, CRBC in Phase 1 alone has directly employed close to 19,000 workers and upwards of 8,000 subcontractors. This is impressive, to say the least.
That is not counting the indirect jobs. Because you see, from Mombasa, say, to all the way to Malaba, there will be industries which will come along as a result of the SGR. Kenyan businesses are supplying to these businesses which are coming off the railway.
The SGR was envisioned as a project for Kenyans by Kenyans. To this end, through the 40% local content directive, the CRBC was mandated to ensure that the project facilitated technology transfer or skills transfer and local capacity building.
It's really a progressive initiative by the government because it's the first time that the government has specified a minimum local content for a project. This is good news for products made in Kenya, for the development of the local industry, and as Bamburi Cement, we are definitely very supportive of this initiative.
Let's look at the role the Railway Training Institute will play in technology transfer.
RTI, the Railway Training Institute, is going to be a huge pillar, not just for Kenya, actually, for the region. We've actually been set it aside as a regional institute of excellence.
The Railway Training Institute, which is the oldest practical railway training institution in the region, is playing and will continue to play a central role in getting skilled and professional manpower ready for the standard gauge railway operations. The Railway Training Institute will be charged with railway skills development in the country and has been at the forefront in ensuring railway technology is passed to the local market through the introduction of SGR-related courses that would see locals gain requisite skills for SGR construction, operation, maintenance and management.
There are currently 3 classes that are ongoing. One class is for the assistant locomotive drivers. Another class is for the permanent weight truck maintenance staff. These are people that will be charged with the responsibility of ensuring that the truck is in good condition at all times. Then we have a 3rd class of signaling engineers. These are people that deal with the signaling of trains as they move along the line.
We are learning more of the simulations, and at the same time we are doing practicals on the real thing, that is come to servers, routers, and even switch configurations. At the same time, we're also learning about the technologies they have, that is the GSM and also GPRS technologies.
About the training, we start with class work, where we learn of the things that are in the field, what is being used in the field. Later we go to the field and we have a closer look of what we have been taught in class. We know how they operate. We operate them ourselves. And there, at least we are conversant with what we are dealing with.
Before we are doing the exchange of the worksheet, we need to check the status of
The government of Kenya and the People's Republic of China, through the China Communication Construction Company, has been instrumental in helping Railway Training Institute in enhancing skill and technology transfer as well as capacity building. First and foremost, funds have been set aside for the purpose of improving RTI's infrastructure, developing training programs and training personnel.
The Chinese contractor has actually offered about 1 billion shillings as part of the capacity enhancement program. That could go into making sure that this kind of institute is properly constituted, is properly resourced, and so going forward I think we shall have a very, very long-term institution which will be supporting this kind of programs.
Once we take like one topic, we also take like one lesson outside, so that at least we can go and interact with the actual gadgets. For example, the switches, which are widely used in communication. Once we simulate in class, we go to the field, that is the station. We interact with the switch itself, and we get to do it.
This is the result of the multiplier.
Lecturers from Southwest Jiatong University have helped facilitate SGR courses at the Railway Training Institute. Over 100 students have already undergone training in various courses in readiness for deployment in the operations and maintenance functions of the SGR. It is a pleasure to report that the first batch of students has already graduated.
As an institute with a rich heritage, proud tradition and reputation of leadership in railway and technical training, I am confident that these trainees have been sharpened and refined with top-of-the-range skills and competencies.
Training doesn't end after graduation at RTI. No, the graduates are further trained on the line during construction and when the line is subjected to testing. Here they do actual work, the kind they trained for, thus gaining great competencies. They will be employed on the project once the operator is on board.
The approach that is being taken from the onset is a very practical oriented kind of training. So even as the lecturers are giving the theory, it is infused with lots of practicum, lots of hands-on skills are being passed on. In addition, we are sending the students to the line, and they are getting first-hand practical training on the line to enable them to perform the duties once they get the job. So they are working closely with the operator with a view of getting the right skills that the operator is expecting from them in anticipation of the jobs that they will be given.
At RTI, we have trained about 100 students. We did these are diploma holders in engineering who have been trained for about 4 months basic course. They are now working in the project for the next 6 months, and they will be ready for employment come June 2017. We have also taken on board another 140, and as soon as they are done, they'll now also be deployed into the project to start training in readiness for operations and maintenance.
Notably funded by the CRBC, an initial batch of 25 students was sponsored for study in China in 2016. They are studying railway engineering and operations at the Beijing Jietong University. The course entails specializing in design and construction, signaling and communication, operations and maintenance. Another group of 35 students was recently commissioned at the RTI for the same course.
It is indeed another great moment as we are here to bid farewell to the second batch of 35 Kenyans scheduled to leave Kenya at the end of the month to go to the same university in China.
In addition to this, CRBC facilitates on-the-line training for local workers who include masons, carpenters, drivers, and electricians, which allows them to apply any new skills learned and which they will ultimately use in future rail operations. The feedback on this is positive.
Nina miaka miwili kwa SGR. Ninafurahia jambo la kwanza, nilikuwa sijafanya hizi kazi za Wachina ambazo hizi kazi za barabara kama hizi slope protections, drainages, hiyo ni skill mpya nimepata.
This initiative aims to provide a comprehensive path for technology transfer, improve local technical levels, as well as maintain skilled manpower for the SGR project. It is crucial for the sustainability of the project even in years to come. It is important to note that the training of locals, amongst them engineers, contributes greatly to the government of the Republic of Kenya's effort to tackle the problem of unemployment in the country. It is entirely possible that some of the trained locals may turn out to be employers themselves in the near future.
Field.
Through this training and technology transfer, Kenya will be in a position to export labor once the line moves to the other East African countries.
Such institutions to collaborate with the Chinese contractor to create dedicated programs and curriculum for Kenyans wanting to do this kind of specialized training. With that, then we shall even be providing services to our neighboring countries when they start doing their projects. And so we shall be exporting labor.
Technology transfer during the SGR construction is in line with the second summit of China-Africa Cooperation Forum, where it was agreed that in the next 3 years, as part of the contract, Kenyan students would benefit from sponsorship into various universities in China, students who would then return to their country to operate and construct the remaining parts of the railway line.
And working with China, who's a contractor of this railway, then we believe that they'll gel in very well and we'll be able to upscale in a very significant way in the next 4 to 5 years our ability to operate, maintain railways, and also undertake our own developments going into the future.
So, what role is the SGR consultant TAEC playing in spearheading the capacity building and training aspect of technology transfer amongst Kenyans?
Capacity building and technology transfer entailed many items in this particular project. One was to train some senior managers of Kenya Railways. Others were to train some junior managers who are engineering graduates of Kenya Railways, and also to train people on operations and maintenance as well.
TAEC has put up programs in place. This has entailed training of the supervisor, training of the trainers, and this involved in April 2016. The supervising team on this SGR were taken to China, and we were trained on the railway maintenance, construction, design, operation.
First is to get the engineers who have worked in railways, then get also young engineers who have really no or little experience in railways, so that together we can train and we can look at the new technologies and look at those procedures of manufacturing locomotives, so that we can have a continuity even when we are gone.
TAEC had a mode of training whereby KR engineers and TAEC apprentices had a 2-week training session in Kenya, during which experts delivered lectures and practical sessions on the Mombasa-Nairobi SGR project.
It was a good experience. I learned a lot technologically, and I think I gained a lot from them. The technology used here is up to date, the latest softwares, the locomotive's performance is up to standard.
Thereafter, a second phase took place at Beijing Jietong University in China and entailed visits to relevant forums to broaden the professionals' understanding of topics of concern as regards to design, construction and management of railways. The training is on design, construction and management of railways and chiefly SGR projects. By being exposed to aspects of design, construction and management of railways, the professionals can be called upon for future railway development by Kenya Railways or other entities who will or may participate in railway development and operations. And has the technology transfer been effective?
The engineers from Kenya Railways and for the consultants who are locals actually participate on each and every step of the construction. In the process, they learn a lot. What you will realize is that for this construction to take place, there are a lot of labs scattered all along the railway line. These labs are fairly complex. They have got the state-of-the-art equipment. If you go there, the people you will find doing the actual things are our people. The Chinese come there and direct them a little bit here and there, and our people are doing a wonderful job just to make sure that the quality of the workmanship is done properly, the materials meet the standards. So our people are sitting on the benches there, the engineers, the technicians, and they do a lot of job.
In terms of slope protection, earthworks, and the motor rubble project, we learned so many new structures that we have never had an experience to do. But it was a learning process for us, and we were able to bring that into our business. We've gained skills in railway construction because initially we were just doing building and roadworks. But it was our first experience to learn, and we were able to learn more on how to integrate what they were doing and what we can undertake after the project.
What other initiatives to facilitate technology transfer are also in the pipeline?
Apart from training, we also engaged in a process of conducting a skills audit for the region, which will inform a training agenda for the 4 African partner states that have come together under the Northern Corridor Integration Project.
The full impact of the technology transfer will be felt in the second phase of the SGR construction, the Nairobi-Naivasha line, due to the involvement of Kenyan engineers and other local workers. And when other countries start constructing and expanding their SGR lines, the Railway Training Institute and the Kenyan SGR trained personnel will be on call.
Depending on how the other countries go in terms of implementing their projects, I believe we'll be way ahead of them. We'll be able to export our own young people to work in those countries to transfer that technology. We'll not need to go to China, which actually makes it cheaper for those countries.
And that is when the benefits of the SGR construction technology transfer will be fully and truly appreciated.